Hello, everyone. Welcome to my James May tribute T-shirt. Oh, hang on. That. I shouldn't be able to hear. There we go. Sorting it out. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? Welcome, people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ryan, Anish, Tammy, Oliver, Glenn, Paige, Darla, Slice Creations, DDM, Clara, Hoodlum, Vatzel, Pomlek, Bryce, Liam, good to see you, mate, Jack, Louis, oh my word. I can't keep up now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. How are we all doing on this fine, it is a Tuesday morning in the UK today. How are we all doing? Big news this morning. If you haven't seen, I'm sure you probably have, hence why you're on this video. There's a little smudge on my lens. There we go. 2021 calendar has been announced. So I thought we should have a little go through it, you know? Chat about what's there, what's not there, what might be there, what might not be there, because it's not all 100% confirmed, but it's pretty much all there. Capital, infantile pillock. I love that. Pillocks are very underused cuss, you know. Tom, I love you, but love your dog or my dog more? Come on, surely you love Minton more. Also, for anyone, Minton is seems to be a lot better now. He was quite poorly last week, but yeah, he's much better now. Oh, Guy Aldridge back again with a 199. Guy, you're far too good to me. Yes, mate. Villa 3-0 against Arsenal. You just got like something going on at Villa this year. Considering how close you were to relegation, we saved you last year. We saved you, and now you're smashing it. Anyway. Welcome everyone. Yeah, see, look, James May vibes from this. When I bought this, I didn't realise, and then I was like, you got James May's iconic long sleeve polo shirt. This is the T-shirt version of it, essentially. Right. Anyway, that's the intro done. Let's have a look. See, here we go. Look, nice little graphic. I built it. Look at this. Graphic designer me. I mean, it's not much, is it? It's not particularly fancy, is it? But it does the job. 23 races. What do we think? Maybe in chat, if you think too many, write too many. If you think too few, write too few. If you think just right, write just right. This is the provision. Oh, it's always provisional, isn't it? Too many. Oh, just right. Too many. I love that. I mean, no one's saying too few. That's for sure. Most people are saying too many. A reasonable amount are saying just right. Jimmy, 52 races a year or no balls. Imagine, that'd be the dream, wouldn't it, mate? Good to see you, Jimbo. Slice Creations, thank you for joining, friends of Tomo. Appreciate it, pal. Welcome to the House of Fun. Yeah, 23 is a lot with 3-day weekends. Now, I'm personally very much in favour of 2 days. I think they could definitely make 2-day weekends work, which when you think over a 23 race calendar, by taking 1 day off of every single race, that saves 23 days. Good maths. Now, obviously, I wouldn't expect them to do that. I wouldn't expect them to make every single weekend a 2-day weekend, but I think Imola proved that system can work, you know? So I definitely think that should be floated, because this is like, that's intense on the teams, the personnel, the staff and all that. Hannah's making a racket. Yeah, it's like, it's a lot. But obviously we know why, don't we? We know why. Let's talk about this little gap. Round 4, TBC. Of course, we were hoping for the Vietnam Grand Prix. But it hasn't happened. It's not going to happen. Apparently, I was reading something yesterday, some kind of political difference, like domestically in Vietnam. I don't know the details, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So what a colossal waste of money that was, because they've set up the entire track and now it's not even going to get used, which seems incredibly wasteful, and I hate waste, particularly food waste, but any kind of waste is not my cup of tea. So it is a shame. From what I'd seen, actually, Marcel Kiefer, one of the F1 esports drivers, tweeted that the only official F1 sanctioned event that's raced at Vietnam was the F1 esports race last year, which David Tinitza won. So Tinitza's got a 100% record at Vietnam for the rest of history. The man's a hero. But yeah, you see all those countries and you don't see a German flag, which seems bizarre, doesn't it? And now obviously TBC. There's a lot of races that could fill that gap. Maybe let me know in the comments what country/track you think should fill that gap. I'm seeing a lot of Kyle armies. I'm seeing a lot of mentions of Germany, so Nürburgring, Hockenheim potentially. Obviously, we've had 3 Italian races. So there's Imola, there's obviously Monza, which we've already got. And then there's Mugello as well. Portimao. People seem to like Portimao. Algarve, yeah, Istanbul, which we're going to see this weekend. Should be interesting. I guess, obviously, Istanbul this weekend we'll see. We'll see how good it is in these current cars, because it's just because it's been good in previous years with previous spec cars. South Africa, if it was up to me, I'll put Sepang in there purely in terms of the track, because I think Sepang's a unreal circuit. I mean, again, it's within a 2 weeks, so it's 2 weeks behind after China, and it's 2 weeks before Spain. So, or the gap's 2 weeks. So, it could really be anywhere. In terms of logistically, it's not like there's a 1 week gap to then get from China to the next race. So I don't know. Realistically, though, I reckon it will be one of the German tracks. I reckon it will be Nürburgring or Hockenheim. That's my best bet. But ideally, it would be Sepang or Kyalami. I'd love to see that. I think Kyalami needs to make a few... I don't think it's technically... If you haven't seen the Josh Revel video talking about bringing back an African GP, do give it a watch. It's a really good video. Sim Dane makes an appearance. Also, Sim Dane's hit 100k, so well done, Sim. But yeah, I don't think it's got its license at the moment. I think it needs to make a few more updates and changes, but that would be sick. But anyway, let's go through from top to bottom. Australia, as always. Albert Park. I mean, Lewis never wins. Valtteri always takes the W, so I guess that's quite interesting. But otherwise, I don't mind at Australia, actually. It's just, again, the overtaking thing, which I don't like blaming the tracks for being for the overtaking being poor. It's the cars. The cars are too big. They're too external aero focused, and it's just they're not built for racing. They're just built for being incredible feats of engineering, which I can appreciate, but ultimately we need to see some proper racing, and hopefully from 22 onwards that will be resolved. I'm confident. I'm confident with the people in charge. Domenicali up top now. Domenicali. Stefano Domenicali. I like him. He comes across as a very nice bloke. And people say that, he's Ferrari, so he's going to be biased. Well, he left Ferrari and went to Lamborghini, who are Ferrari's like arch nemesis CEO before he took the F1 position. So I don't think so. Derek McGregor, thank you for the $2 Aussie. Kazakhstan for R4, please. I need to see the new Borat. The original Borat was a banger. Yeah, again, Vietnam, as my understanding, is not there because of some internal political differences. So it's not happening, and is I don't know. You'd hope maybe down the line, maybe. But I don't know. From what I've seen on the F1 game of Vietnam, I don't rate it. It looks very strange. But yeah, I think Sepang. Anyway, Australia. Well, Australia have got the toughest lockdown rules. They've just come out of lockdown. I know we have to talk about this, unfortunately, because March is only 4 months away. It's like 4 months and 9 days until Australia. Now they've got no cases at the moment, but you imagine that there will be some, and then if there is, then Australia will be very firm on it. So pinch of salt, you know. I know they're talking about a vaccine now, but you just you don't know until it's actually gone live. You know, who knows how long it's going to take. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Albert Park. I would like to see a return to Adelaide. I'll be honest, but it's a good start to the year. It's good. It's not bad. It's not great. It's just good. You know, Bahrain I think is a very underrated track. I really like Bahrain. The full circuit. We'll see what the Bahrain Oval is like. Eventually, we'll see. But it should be good. It should be good. China, as a circuit, delivers. You know, as a circuit, very much delivers. I'll talk about the whole because obviously we're going to talk about Saudi Arabia towards the end of this, and I'll cover because people are saying, "Oh, if you're going to complain about Saudi Arabia, what about China? What about?" We'll talk about that later. In terms of just a track, I think China's actually a pretty good track. I like China. Again, TBC round 4, we don't know. I reckon I'd love to see Sepang, but I think it will probably be Nürburgring or Portimao. I mean, I'd like to see Portimao as well. I thought they were both pretty good races, to be fair. But yeah, round 5, Spain. Now that little asterisk you can see next to the word Spain means the contract hasn't been officially signed yet with Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. Now, of course, we all know that we'd rather have Portimao than... I think that's pretty much universal. Everyone would rather... I don't mind... This is the thing. I don't mind Spain, Catalunya, staying as the testing venue. I think that's fine. But then don't have it in the actual calendar, because that is just such a boring race. Don't have it in the calendar. Like, give them... They're the testing venue. Sweet, fine, cool with that, no problem. But nah, it's not the track, is it? Thank you, Cheng, for the 50 Hong Kong dollars. Thank you, buddy, much appreciated. Get Sepang in place of Hanoi. If it isn't going to take place, it's close to Shanghai. It's a purpose-built track, loved by many, and logistically easier than going to places like Kyalami and Adelaide. You make a very good point. And that I want Sepang too, you know. I don't even know what the situation is with Sepang at the moment. I know Super GT race there sometimes, but I don't really know in terms of how often that track's being used recently since the F1 left. I wonder why. I don't even know why they left in the first place either, to be fair. But yeah. But thank you again, Cheng. I appreciate your generosity. Far too kind to me. I'm seeing a lot of people saying Macau. Macau's way too narrow, man. That's never going to happen. Come on. That would absolutely never happen. Get Bathurst in there. That would be ridiculous. F1 at Bathurst. No. Just imagine that would just be a massive accident. Or it'd just be a car park. They'd just be going through so slowly through the top of the hill. That'd be mad. Monaco. Now, I like Monaco. I rate Monaco. I know Monaco seems to split opinion. I like it because it's different, you know. We want a calendar that's diverse in terms of the countries that we visit, and we want a calendar that's diverse in the type of tracks as well. You want the tight technical tracks. You want the long ass straights. and also the environments that they're in. You know, Portimao is really cool because you had some like mad views and the undulation and all that. It's part of the kind of character, you know, and the surrounding. And when it's a night race, that again doesn't. Obviously, it does affect the track because temperature and all that, but like it's a different spectacle, you know. And I think Monaco's so unique. I think that always needs to have a place. Plus, there's the history. Plus, there's all that. And I do think that once they sort out the regulations, racing will be better at Monaco. Oh, Joshua, if you don't like Monaco, you're not a real F1 fan. Damn. Harsh. Gone in. But yeah, Monaco's got to stay. Monaco's got to stay for me. Mugello was cool. See in the comments a few people mentioned Mugello. Mugello was cool. I like Mugello. Enjoyed it. Anyway, Azerbaijan round 7. Great track. I think Baku's again really different. You're going from Monaco to Azerbaijan. They couldn't be more different, but then they're both street circuits as well. So, you know what I mean? They've got that similarity. So that's what I like. Again, it's just like we've got 23 races. We don't want every single track to be the same type of track, you know? Like, of course, the purpose-built circuits like your Suzukas, your Spas, your Silverstones, like, cool, great. But also chuck some curveballs in there, you know? That would be sick. Azerbaijan, yep, happy with that. Cool. Canada, my favourite circuit. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I love Canada. I think that's a fantastic track. Again, it's got character, you know. It's got those World Champions. It's got certain parts. It's got that undulation that makes drivers make mistakes, you know. I love Canada. And I hope to visit Montreal one day. That would be amazing. Oh, Arthur, thank you for the 5 Rs. I don't know what that currency is, but thank you, buddy. Potential sub-races, according to Formula Hypersoft News. Imola, Nürburgring, Hockenheim, Algarve, Sepang, Istanbul Park. Yeah, I mean, that it's probably going to be one of them. Spot on, Arthur. Of all the options. A few people said India. I would love to see F1 return to India one day. I think there's an appetite for the sport now that maybe there wasn't so much in the past, but there was a lot of political nonsense that kind of knocked that on the head in the end, like the government not classing it as an entertainment or something, and that how it was taxed was different. I can't remember exactly, to be honest, but yeah. Hopefully they can get through all that. France. Such a cool looking track, but the racing is dead. Now, I've got so many different variations. You would have thought that they could come up with a version of that French track, because it's got so many different, that works better than the current format that doesn't. I mean, it wasn't a terrible race, was it, last year? You had that kind of sick battle towards the end with like Raikkonen and Ricciardo and Norris, I think it was, wasn't it? And then Ricciardo got the penalty because he went off the track passing Kimi. That was a really like good end to that race. Le Castellet sprinklers. I mean, yeah, Paul Ricard, I don't think it's as bad as people give it stick for, but it's still not great, is it? I don't think it's the worst track. Definitely not the worst track. It's in the bottom quarter, but it's not the worst track. No way. So yeah, hopefully, I'd like to think they can find a better solution to that track. But anyway, Austria, Red Bull Ring, love the Red Bull Ring. Super like compact, delivers pretty decent racing consistently. I like it. Happy with that. Silverstone, always a banger, always delivers. Love Silverstone. Hungaroring, decent. It's okay. It's not amazing. I'm not losing sleep over it, you know, but it does the job. It's been there for a long time, actually. Hungaroring's been an absolute stalwart of the F1 Canada for a long time now. Belgium, Spa, don't need to say anything. Obviously going to be sick. Zandvoort, Netherlands. Interested to see how this works with the new again, I can't blame the cars. Sorry, I can't blame the tracks, can blame the cars. It feels like that track's like a go-kart track. and it's going to be too difficult for F1 cars to overtake it. Apart from that first corner, I worry that that's going to be a really dead race. I think BKV, I agree completely. I think it will be better for 2022. Zandvoort, once the new regs are in, the cars are a bit smaller, they can follow easier. I think that could be a really good race, but I think next year it's probably going to be a bit of a dud. If I had to pick any race that I think is really going to disappoint, because of course everyone's super excited because the crazy Dutch fans, you crazy Dutch fans out there, I love you. Fundamental part of my channel's growth was the incredible Dutch support. So thank you well to you all. But yeah, Zandvoort, I think will be disappointed, but I think from 2022 onwards, it could be very good. Italy, Monza. I like Monza. I don't love Monza. I've said this before. It's not top tier for me. Out of the Italian tracks, again, I don't love it, but what I will say is that it is different. It's got those long ass straights. It's a bit of a Baku, but then with a more traditional feel to it. So actually, I probably would keep Monza in, even though it's probably not my favourite of the Italian tracks. I probably prefer Mugello, to be honest. But I think Monza offers something different, more of a spectacle, more of a unique spectacle, and it's got the historical mad fan support. So I would keep Monza in for sure. Hopefully it delivers, Hopefully it delivers. Where's Germany? Exactly. There's no German races. Again, that's why I think a German race will fill that TBC spot, because there's Hockenheim and there's Nürburgring, two fantastic tracks just waiting, Imola is overrated. Well, again, Imola's one of those that I think it will struggled in the same way that Zandvoort will. The cars are so big and they're so difficult to follow that where's the opportunities? I can't see many opportunities to follow. Yeah, when I watch that F1 Esports, which is obviously the only insight we've had of wheel-to-wheel racing, and it's a video game, so it's not exactly the same. There's always going to be, you can't quite take those same risks maybe that you would do in the game, but it doesn't look like it's going to be good for passing. But anyway, Russia, Sochi, such a dead track. Such a dead track. Awful track, Sochi. Awful. Shocking. What more can I say? Shouldn't be on there. I don't know if are there any other tracks in Russia that would do a good job. Oh, thank you, Jacques Gusson, for the 5 USD. Goosen. Jacques Goosen. There we go. Sorry, Jacques. African GP. I'd love to see it again. Kyle Army. Or they built a track elsewhere. I know they have Morocco in Formula E. So that was quite good. Someone else, don't know. And Cheng as well with another 25 HK dollar. Thank you, pal. 21 has 5 double headers and 2 triple headers. Crazy schedule. When you think about how much travelling is needed, I wonder how teams will react to it. This is what I mean. This is why I think we need to see more 2-day weekends. At least for the triple headers, make them 2-day weekends. Cheng, I was going to count, but Cheng's done it already, so thank you, Cheng. 5 double headers, 2 triple headers. For those 2 triple headers, 100% they need to be 2-day weekends, surely. Because Imola's proven that it was fine. It was fine. We've got a better race than if it would have been a 3-day weekend, if you ask me, because then they would have had more data, Anyway, down we go. Thank you, Owen, as well, for the 5, mate. You're far too kind. True OG you are, Owen. Appreciate that, mate. Monza will always be top tier because of that Pierre win, and nobody can tell me otherwise. That was a sick result, to be fair. Monza last year was banging. No, I'm happy for it to stay. It's not my personal top 5. It's not in there, but I get why people like it. Singapore, 1st to the 3rd of October. I like Singapore. Night race again, different. Yeah, is it good racing? Blah blah blah. Look, 2022 onwards, I think will iron out a lot of these issues. And again, it's a unique venue, night race. It's the biggest kind of physical challenge for the drivers, which I think, you know, again, it's not something we can appreciate, but I think in the same way that I got a lot of enjoyment out of Mugello knowing how hard the drivers were having to push and how much the drivers were enjoying it, you know, I feel like it's a similar thing with Singapore in terms of the physical, because it's so hot, it's so humid. I've been to Singapore, it's ridiculously humid. But yeah, that's the thing. Japan, Suzuka, no brainer. Love Suzuka, quality track. It's just great. I like Fuji as well, but I prefer Suzuka. That'd be banging. USA, Austin. I like Austin actually. It's probably a bit of a. If I had to like rank all the tracks, which I have done actually, I've done that in a video, and I feel like I'll put USA above Monza, but I really like USA. You know, I really like USA. I probably is same. I'd say they're on the same tier personally. Online class, no, Tom, F not on live stream yet. Don't miss classes because of me, all right? Come on, it's not worth it. You can just watch me back later. Round 20, Mexico. Mexico's always just been very to me, and I don't know. I don't think the track's that great, but I definitely want a Mexican Grand Prix. But I don't know if there's any other options in Mexico. I'm not versed in Mexican grade A racing tracks. I don't think there's any others, but maybe there is. Clement, thank you for the $5 Aussie, pal. What do you think of the Bend Motorsport Park? Could be a good replacement for Albert Park. I have heard of this, but I don't even know what it looks like. I'll have to look into that. But let me just Google it quickly. I mean, what a name, first and foremost. Bend Motorsport Park. Oh, is that? See, right. Hang on. Let me get screen share up a sec here. Let me get screen share up. Right. Let's find a good image. This literally, right. Hang on. Let me go screen share. Boom. Right. This track looks like in like Gran Turismo when you had the circuit that was like a made up circuit that was just loads of corners. I mean, look at that. What an absolute mess. I mean, look, obviously they wouldn't race this whole thing. But I mean, it looks pretty sick. I'm not going to lie, it looks pretty cool. TripAdvisor, you can go there, you know. I don't know. Is it grade A? Would it even make the cut? I don't even know. But anyway, let's move on, people. Brazil. Now, again, little asterisk next to it, but it should be at Interlagos. Everyone, all signs are saying that it will be at Interlagos. From 2022 onwards, will it move to Rio? Will they cut down a rainforest to build a track that they don't need because they've got one of the best tracks in Formula One already? Politics for you. It's a pretty horrible situation what's going on. But by the sounds of what I've heard, it's like the owners of Interlagos, there's a political divide between them and the new government with Bolsonaro, who's, I'll reserve my words for him. He's not a very nice man. Let's just leave it at that. And yeah, they want to build a new track at Sao Paulo over a rainforest when you've got a perfectly good Interlagos, which is one of the best tracks, like top 5 comfortably tracks. I think everyone agrees Interlagos is an absolute banger. And we could be losing it from 2022 onwards. But as we will discuss later, unfortunately, listen, I'd love to not say it, but F1 do follow the money, you know. But we'll talk about that in a minute. So Brazil, well, as long as it is Interlagos, then sweet. Again, it says Sao Paulo on the thing. But they're thinking of moving it to Rio. Please Interlagos. I love Interlagos. Saudi Arabia. Now, have we actually seen the track? Again, I'm not going to talk about anything else at the minute. Have we actually seen the track layout yet? I don't think we have we? I don't believe so. No, we haven't. Okay. So it's hard to judge. Obviously, we know it's going to be a night race. We know it's going to be a street circuit, probably. Well, I think we know that. Patrick Mahoney, British GP for Brands Hatch. Thank you for the £2, mate. And yes, no, it wouldn't work. But I love Brands. Brands Hatch is the track I always used to go down when I was younger. Love. I've driven Brands actually. I drove Brands in a Lamborghini Gallardo LP something. The one that was like, it was like white, and it had the on the back. It was the facelift version, and it has the grille stretching the whole width at the back. But yeah, it was good fun. It is too short though. It's not wide enough. Maybe if they used the Grand Prix circuit, that would be pretty cool. Oh, thank you, Cheng. Mate, Cheng, you're far too good. What's all these donations, buddy? Far too good to me for the 25 Hong Kong dollars again. The 2 triple headers are Spa, Zandvoort, Monza, Sochi, Singapore, Suzuka. 6 races in 7 Sundays. Not to mention it's 3-day weekends, crazy season. That's what I mean. Like, they need to be, all those races need to be 2-day weekends, surely, at the bare minimum. Because we know it works, you know, and it's like it's too much. It's too much for the teams, too much for the personnel. Like, it's easy for us to sit here and just enjoy these races coming week in, week out, but there's such a logistical effort in taking the F1 circus around the world that, you know, the personnel and the staff it just seems too much to me. It's way too much. But anyway. Yeah, Saudi Arabia, don't really know. Street circuit could be cool, could be a cool race, but yeah. Abu Dhabi, another street circuit at night. It's just dead, isn't it? It's just dead. Those 90-degree corners just ruin it. If it wasn't for that kind of last sector, which is just pointless, it'd probably be all right, you know. But yeah, Abu Dhabi, not my cup of tea. Right, so that's all of the races gone through. I suppose, yeah, we talk about Saudi Arabia. It's hashtag we race for money. I saw one that was like, we race as M in brackets 1 close brackets Y. Okay, I know Abu Dhabi isn't a street circuit, but it might as well be. It's just, there's so many, like, I feel like everyone just needs to be honest, you know? Like, we've got Aramco, who are a Saudi oil company, as the prime kind of sponsor of the sport at the moment, plastered over every single race. And now, obviously, we've got Saudi Arabia as an actual track in Formula One. Now, it's just disappointing, isn't it? Like, to have that, the whole like we race as one messaging, talking about inclusivity and diversity, and promoting that as an ideal for the sport, but then go into countries that don't support those ideals. And I'm not just talking about Saudi Arabia, you know. There's other countries in this list that you could make the same case against. And again, I think it's not being genuine, is it? It just kind of, you know, there's something about wanting to make all these changes, and then they do something like this, and then there's silence from F1 in terms of justifying why. Like, you could say, right, okay, we want to go. They could say, okay, well, we want to go to countries like this because we want to challenge them and show them and that inclusivity is important and all that. They could try and make that claim. Would I believe that? No. But they could try and at least make that claim. But no, it's just like, oh, we've got Saudi Arabia now. Woo. Just kind of ignore any, fan opinion and outrage and uproar. I'll be honest. The people I'm happy for are the Saudi fans, who many of them are just racing fans, just like any of us, and aren't defined by the political party who's in charge and aren't twats, basically. Who are getting a race, and I think that's good to see from their point of view. But again, it just flies in the face of everything they're trying to talk about, and I'm sure that Lewis will speak up. Look, the thing is, what we have to understand as well is that F1 is a sport that historically has not been moral. It's never really been moral, has it? Like, it's always gone to, these parts of the world. It's always been money first. It's always been lavish. It's always been, look at Monaco. Like it's always been like that. And the sport is changing and it is moving with the times, and becoming less of a closed. When F1 first started in like the 50s, it was just a gentleman's club of racers. You just paid to get in, and even like in the 70s, 80s, like it was just, you could pay for a seat. Andrea Moda would pull up and just throw money at it, and extortion and all that nonsense, right? We're not starting with like, say for example, football, you're starting with a very working class, like accessible sport. And as you go to the highest tier, it then becomes more money driven and more political and all that kind of stuff, and it loses that. F1, you're starting, motorsport, to be honest, as well, motorsport isn't accessible because it's so expensive. So already it's you need to be at a certain level. But also when the top tier of motorsport, like F1 is probably the most extravagant sport in the world. Motorsport at its top level is the most extravagant, the most decadent, the most money driven of any sport, I would say. Any sport. So it's going to take a lot longer to change that, and we're only going to be able to change it a certain amount as well, because F1, motorsport will always be expensive. If you want to get your kid into sport, and you're just from a normal, Western kind of economic background, you're not going to be taking them karting because it's too expensive. You need to work 3 jobs like Anthony Almond did to put Lewis through, But yeah, it is a shame. I only hope that you just got to hope for the best with it, but it's just the lack of transparency from F1 is something I find really annoying. But there you go, people. I'm gonna round it up now, but before you go, okay, give me like 2 seconds, because I'm just setting something public. I figure this is a great opportunity to, while I've got 1,900 of you here, if you go to my YouTube channel right now, well, I mean, you're already on my YouTube channel. What am I talking about? Why is this not clicking? There we go. You will see that I've just put up my podcast with Jimmy Broadbent. He was in the chat earlier. So go and watch it now, please. I've literally just put this up. So this is a good way to hopefully guarantee bare views straight out the bat, I was gonna put this live tomorrow, but then I was like, actually no, this is a good opportunity, It gives a bit of time. It's almost 2 hours, 1:52. We had a long chat. So yeah, go give it some love, people. I would thoroughly appreciate it. yeah, we're done. So thank you everyone for watching. Appreciate you all taking the time. Thank you to everyone who donated as well. Simdane in the chat, welcome to the 100k club, my friend. I'm still waiting on my plaque. I still haven't heard from YouTube about it either. So, I don't know, I'm a bit concerned. Not going to lie. But yeah, thank you all for the support. Go watch the podcast with Jimmy. It's almost 2 hours long, so if you've got that kind of time to kill, stick it on in the background, you know. And yeah, thank you everyone. Have a good day. Be nice to each other. And I will see you for the qualifying stream on Saturday for the Turkish Grand Prix. Bye everyone. Done.